different standards. We're talking about ISO, International Standard Organization. We're talking about the PMI, different organizations. And these are not agile. These are general project management body of knowledge. When it comes to agile, we have way many more than that, and we'll talk about a few of them. About different international agreements. Your project is dealing with global issues. Part of that is the agreements. We need to be mindful of different agreements. What are in those agreements? What they've talked about? How we can make advantage, or if we see that any risk, how we can work around it. Convention of Kanagawa, we have Golden Soviet Treaty of 1860s, we have European laws and different issues. These are just a few of the international agreements. On top of that, export regulations. One of the clients I was working last year was making a prototype of a hard drive. One of the sensors for the prototype was built in China. Designed here, manufactured China. The prototype engineers were in Pakistan. They needed to have those sensors shipped to Pakistan so they can put them together, run their test case, and report here, optimize that, right? The sensors took them 2 weeks to get from China to Pakistan. They couldn't. So what happened? They had to buy an airline ticket to one of their engineers, go to China, get those small sensors, go back to Pakistan, put them together. Imagine if you scale that to 20,000 units. Think about the loss. These are what I'm talking about. Different regulations, freight forwarding rules, how to properly manage transportation. A project I was involved back in 2010, cloud computing. We had our servers from Singapore shipped to India, OS installed in it, tested, shipped to US, commissioned, shipped to our client's place, right? Think about the cost of transportation. Who pays for that cost?
The customers.
Customers. All these costs. As soon as we reduce the cost, we reduce the price, we're more competitive. Harmonized tariff and custom laws. We're going to talk about that. Country-specific laws. Every country has different regulations. I'm going to talk about that. And how the tariff is going to change different issues for us. Incoterm is the transportation commerce terms on shipping. Waterway shipping is different than landway shipping. Each has different insurance attached to it. If you look at the paper of Incoterm, they have 3 booklets like that. As a project manager, we need to know about these things. At least we need to know there are issues that we can go back when we need. When I'm doing my cost analysis, I have to report to my managers and executives, right? Part of that cost analysis is how we are shipping things here. What about the international transportation? Is there any specialized export documentation in firearms, Meetup, and other things? How are we going to deal with that? Chemicals, nuclear processing is really hard. It supplies aluminum could be used in nuclear fissile processing. That's why we have specialized documentation for export-import of aluminum. US goods, return on this. A cloud computing company I was working, we had some units that passed preliminary tests, but they were defective and we needed to return. That was a nightmare. And putting a process in that is part of our job as project manager. And I told you about ITAR on arms regulation, export administration regulation. Every one of them has about 5-6 different websites that we can go there and search for the information we need when we need. I'm not saying as a project manager we need to know all of this. I'm saying as a project manager we need to be mindful that these information exist and we have to look for them when we need them. How about recent changes in US government? Cyber security, taxes, sanctions. These are few of the sanctions we have. OFAC is very busy in adding different sanctions almost every month. US restrictions on Cuba, cybersecurity laws with different countries, North Korea, Iran, about terrorism. Most of the tariffs that are imposed, for instance, on solar panels. If I'm working in renewable energy and I'm working in the solar panel area and the tariff is changed over a month, my bottom line is going to change. The whole program may be in jeopardy. We need to be mindful about all these. And this is one of the charts that I found from 1975 till 2016. Look how we have come down in terms of GDP, the trade balance compared to GDP. And these are the things that, again, as a project manager, I need to be mindful. International, we all heard that it's complex, complicated. If we're not on top of every issue of our project or program, it's really easy to get lost in between all these laws and regulations and calculations and dealing with our team members. Part of that is the cost of it. We go global because we want to reduce the cost of production. Laws and regulations and transportation and dealing with different talents and HR laws and cost of employment and all of those issues are being combined together. That's why it is complex. It's different than having an office here in Santa Clara and getting 40 people with one set of rules. It is complex because we have complex risk issues, and we just talked about a few of them. It is really complex because of finding partners, customers, vendors with whom we can work, people, language, understanding, cultures. There are many challenges, time difference, language, cultural difference, shipping, payment issues, communications, documentation, where to get common understanding on what we're doing, where to document, how we can collaborate on documentation of our project. I talked about international commercial terms. There are a lot of issues in Incoterms. For instance, waterway transportation from East Asia to here. Where they're coming, how they're coming, what kind of water path they're taking, where are we incurring any tariffs. Land, different issues. So all of them are incorporated in Incoterms. Collaboration and communication among us, global players of our projects. First ground rule is to get together and agree on the set of tools we want to work together to collaborate on different issues. These are a few tools and products to help us to collaborate and communicate together. There are tools coming and being enhanced and bought by different companies. You've heard about Jira, right? You've heard about Trello, bought by Jira. It's all so dynamic. We need to be on top of all these issues. We are the project face. If project goes good, everybody is happy. If we go bad, if the project fails or is in red, whose neck is on line? Whose fault is it? So I need, as a project manager, I need to make sure that at least I have some answer to my boss. Mindset. Now that we talked about the scale of any international project, let's talk about Agile. How it can help us in managing our project. Thinking. That is part of the lean thinking. Optimizing the whole process, eliminating waste, creating knowledge, building quality, delivering fast by managing flow. It's not like delivering by working hard. It's by managing how we're going through the flow of our project and deferring the commitment and respecting people, respect these. That's the first thing I wanted to emphasize on that. As opposed to lean principles is identifying the value, mapping the value stream, creating the flow, establishing the pool system, seeking perfection, and this is how we go through the lean and lean thinking in general. Agile has 4 simple values that we value the individuals over process, procedure, and tools. We value working, said software, I say product. I care less about the product. over comprehensive documentation. As a consultant, I have to go with a contract, right? When I started consulting back in '97, I didn't have any contract. I had a couple of projects, what time, can you do it? Yes, no problem. I did it, yes, got paid. In 2002, my contract started because I got slapped on, and then I went to a one-page contract. Now I have 7-page contract. I have to protect myself, right? I don't like saying waterfall. I always say structured contracts, structured projects, as opposed to waterfall. Structured projects have contracts that everything has to be spelled out. In Agile, I like to work with working product as opposed to comprehensive documentation. In Agile, I love working with customers, collaborate day in, day out, as opposed to contract negotiation. Home improvement. You bring the general contractor, you want to renew your bathroom. 4,000, 3,000, 3,500. No problem. That's just the time, right? Material by you, yes, no problem. Okay. You open the bathroom, back of the wall. Oh, there is termite. Then we add time and material. Your contract cost went from 3,500 to 6,500. I'd rather work with my customer day in, day out, as opposed to start negotiating. Responding to change, as opposed to following a set rule. Again, not waterfall, but structured project with all definition. We plan, we initiate, we plan, we execute, monitor and control our plan till the end, right? That's the flow we go. That's why they call it waterfall. In Agile, we respond to change. In waterfall or in structured projects, the change is already documented because we had comprehensive documentation. And when we went to negotiation, we made sure that we have the plan. So our project goes based on the plan. In Agile, not that we don't have any plan. Every step in Agile has a plan. As opposed to going through the entire comprehensive documentation and negotiation, coming up with plan, we go step by step. We work with customers. We bring their idea, we bring their change to the product, and we work with customers. I always say as a consultant, David's first and foremost eyes are in my customer's pocket for a simple reason. If my customer is not profitable, who that customer is going to lay off first? So my customer's pocket is more important than my pocket, right? That's why I like to respond to changes, so we provide our customers' need. That's the mindset. Concurrent adoption. When we have that kind of mindset set in one location, let's say for instance, we're dealing with a project that is spanning over 5-6 different countries. And we create that mindset and that group of individuals, we create that team that is working with Agile principles and values. To create that, the best way is to cultivate that culture. Move from location to location. Don't duplicate. Try to multiply them. That's the only way we can go global. Part of the things that we need to cultivate is iteration. These are little things. When we say incremental, it's incremental value. Let's say, for instance, you're updating the eBay shopping application. As opposed to sitting back and creating that in multiple years, we incrementally add what our customer wants. Every adjective I have in here has over a book of information in it. We really dive into it. And this is a little manifesto that I've always kept the manifesto with me. In my office, everywhere, I have the copy of manifesto and copy of the values. It's not going to happen over the night for our project managers who have dealt with projects for past God knows how many years using structured approach. Plan, execute, control, monitor, control, and close. Now we're going through different mindset, and we need to keep that values up on top.